3 ways to help our children be proud to be black. You are probably watching this video because you yourself, like us, are a black family, or you have children who are of mixed minority, and you are in the right place if you are like me and you have some concerns in terms of how well they can thrive and be happy within their own skin, especially if you're from the UK and outside of London. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 things we can do to help our children feel confident, strong, empowered and grounded in who they are, in their skin, in the way that they look, no matter what environment that they're in. So I want you first of all to, I will be so grateful, like, comment and share this video if you find it useful, but just like the video so far if you like the topic, and this will really help other people find this video on the algorithm. YouTube will realize that my videos are valuable, hopefully, and they will share it on the algorithm. So please share and like and subscribe, and I'll love you forever, and it will help me to create more and more content. Anyways, so to dive in, I want to give you a little bit of context of why I've created this video. So why have I created and why do I want to share 3 ways that we can help our children feel proud to be black? And the reason why is because us as a family, we used to live in London. And if you are aware of London, you know that London is very diverse, like there's no problem, it's so diverse. But the more you expand out of London, the less diverse it becomes. And now we've moved to Nottingham, which is a beautiful city, beautiful place. We love it. However, it is a lot less diverse. The majority of the population in Nottingham are Caucasians. So one of my main concerns for moving to Nottingham is that my children may feel like a sheep in the herd, a black sheep in the herd, and I wanted to find ways to ensure that they settle and they thrive and they still feel empowered within their own skin. I guess it's more of a personal concern that I've had, more than probably what my children will actually go through in reality. It probably won't even be a problem, but it's just something I'm very aware of. And we moved to Nottingham because we had a great opportunity to do so, but we are still very aware that it's a lot less diverse than the way that we grew up in London. When we were in school, we were mixed with, we were probably the black community was the majority in our class, but now that we've moved outside of London, we know that it's going to be a completely different experience for our children. So if you feel like you have the similar concerns to me, leave them in the comment. Do you feel like you live in an area where you are the minority? Have you been having concerns of whether your child's going to feel like they're not comfortable in their own skin because of this, that they feel like there's no one around them that really looks like them? Let me know in the comments below. This video is obviously targeted for black families, but it's not really. It's very much everything that I'm going to share, the 3 tips I'm going to share, we can incorporate into various different cultures. So if you're Asian, if you're from Chinese, Japanese, if you feel like you are a minority in your area, wherever you are around the world, most likely the UK, then I think you will really be able to relate to this and be able to incorporate the tips in your home as well. So again, to give you further background, I've got a 10-month-old boy. No, he's not 10 months, he's 11 months old, and I've got a 3-year-old girl. So my 3-year-old obviously is already out there, she's going to nursery. My baby's also just started going to nursery as well. She's in an amazing nursery. She is one of the minorities. She does have people around her that are also black, but obviously the majority are Caucasian. And basically we're a French family, but I'm half Nigerian, I'm half French, so my mum is white, my dad is black. My husband, he's Ivorian and Caribbean, so we've got a mixed culture in our household, and that's something that I really want to be able to incorporate into their upbringing, because I really feel like it's important that they understand where they came from, who they are, and then for them to discover from that what type of person they want to become, and not to feel ostracized or left out or uncomfortable if they're in whatever environment they may face from a young child and as an adult. And I'm sure that's something that you would want the best for your child as well. So what are these 3 things that I want to share with you that will help our children to feel so empowered and comfortable in their own skin? Well, me and my husband were talking about this yesterday, and we really believe that it all comes down to fundamentally what happens at home, first of all. So my husband made a really good point yesterday that really inspired me, and really inspired me to make this video actually. And he said that one of the most important things is for us to show our children that we are proud to be black, because obviously children don't copy what we say, they copy what we do. So if we feel, the more comfortable we feel in our own skin, in our own, you know, culture, ethnicity, where we came from, if we understand our history and we promote that and we celebrate that, they're going to feel inspired to do the same. So what I did was I went really quickly and I went and ordered some headscarves that I want to put on, because I could tell my little girl, she looks at me and she copies me, and I know she'll be inspired by that. She'll be like, oh, that looks really pretty on your head. So I've bought some lovely patterns. My battery just died, so I had to do that all over again. But where was I? So she will get to see me celebrate our culture with these headscarves. I'm going to look into buying some patterns and some African dresses. I'm not going to overdo it, but we tend to at home anyways play African music. And then as she gets older as well, and for our son, we're going to share the history of Africa, of Nigeria, of Ivory Coast, the Caribbean. And also we're going to look at different legends that inspire us, and find out who inspires her, and then she could look up to that person, or find out what characteristics she likes in that person and help develop those characteristics. Basically you want her to have these role models in her life that are that look like her, resemble her, so that she can feel like, okay, they've done extraordinary things and so can I. So that's what we're going to embed in our household, which I feel is really important for our son and for our daughter. This is something you could do, you can go and explore. We've also at the moment got storybooks with black characters. We've got one story about the dad and the daughter, and he's doing her hair, and she's got afro hair, and it explains how her hair has changes when it's wet and how it shrinks. And anyways, it's just such a cute book, and about how dad is learning how to do her hair. It's a really, really sweet book about the relationship between dad and daughter, but also about obviously the beauty of having thick black afro hair. So that's something we're going to be doing and are currently doing in our household. The second thing we can do, which I'm pretty excited about, is actually having, as she gets older and as our son gets older, so I think from about between 12 and 16, I guess it will depend on whether it's something our children want to have. We'll know when they're ready. But basically, if you know me, if you've been following my channel, I'm a confidence coach. So I love coaching, I love personal development. So I was thinking this is something I can provide for our children, where they have their own coach, to help them with goal setting, to help them with confidence building, just to have someone that they can talk to outside of the family. Because yes, we're going to have a good relationship with our children, but they're not going to tell us everything. So I would want them to have their own coach to help them with their personal development, but not just any coach. I will go and hire a coach that is black, someone that looks and resembles like them, so that they can really feel connected to that person. Because let's be real, we're outside of London now. The majority of teachers are Caucasian, so they will feel a bond with them, but it's only going to be within certain limits. Whereas what I do have, and I don't have control of that, I don't have control of how diverse the schools will be that they go to, but I can have control, some level of control of the environment that I surround them in outside of school. So I'm going to hire a coach specifically from ethnic minority background. They don't have to specifically be black, they could be Asian as well. But ideally black, so that they feel that, okay, I can connect with this person, especially if I can find a black female coach for my daughter and a black male for my son, because then he can look up and go, right, this guy is someone I'm inspired by, you know, and unconsciously they'll feel a connection because of the same country that they come from. Let me know if you like that. Leave a thumbs up if you like that idea. The third way to help our children feel comfortable in their skin is to have those discussions. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, and let's have those discussions. Obviously when they're old enough. Right now my child's only 3, she's not really going to get it, but I've done it on purpose to basically surround her with specific toys and books. So you know, when she's got dolls, she's got a white doll, she's got a black doll, like I really make it on purpose for her toys to be a reflection of her and not just random toys. I'm quite, like, there's a thought behind and there's a reason behind the toys that I select, to help her to see that the world is diverse. and that where she lives is just a small footprint of what is actually the bigger picture of the whole world, which is more diverse. So it's about having those discussions. So when you feel they're old enough, you can just talk and say, you know, how's it going? How's school? How do you feel? If you feel like there's signs where they're showing a bit of frustration or discomfort because of the fact that they are a minority, let's talk about it. You feel uncomfortable that you're the minority, let's talk about it, let's explore it, acknowledge how they're feeling about it, give them tools of how they can overcome it. And sometimes they may not, you know, I feel quite confident that my child's going to be fine, and so is my son, especially because for the very fact that they have parents like us that are aware that they are the ethnic minority. You've got some families who aren't really aware, or they try and avoid it and they don't want to discuss it, and that can cause some psychological discomforts for the child as they get older. So it's something that we want to be able to explore and discuss with our child, and just remind her that, and remind my son that yes, they live in an area which is of where they're an ethnic minority, but it's not really the bigger picture. And the reason and the way to show them that the whole world, to show them that the world is actually very diverse depending on where they live, is to get them to travel. So this is embedded in the third idea, is if possible, go to different countries. We want to go to Africa, we want to go to the Caribbean, and this is something we're going to be exploring so that they can see that, oh, when I go to certain areas of the world, I'm the majority. So they start to feel a lot more comfortable, and it opens and expands their mind, knowing that this is where they live, but there's also a whole world out there. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that inspires you. Those 3 ways to help our children feel comfortable in our own skin and in their skin, and to celebrate it. And I'm feeling, even for me, even more as I explore this in depth, I feel even more comfortable in my own skin. So I feel like it's a bit of therapy for me as well. I feel like I'm a royal black princess, and I love it. Mixed as well, because I'm white as well, so we're going to be celebrating our French culture as well. So this is something that you can explore with your children. The first thing is to celebrate your culture at home. Eat the, you know, cultural foods, wear the cultural clothes, play the music, have books about your culture, share the love, you know, have certain toys that represents your culture. Just create that in your household. The second thing is to maybe hire a coach, or maybe there's a loved one or a family member who you feel is very inspirational that can offer some mentorship to your children, you know. So maybe you have a godparent or a sister or an uncle that's from your culture, and you feel comfortable and you trust them that they can be like a mentor or a coach, or someone that they can have a good bond and relationship with, that they can hang around with and talk to as a reflection of who they are. And then the third thing is a bit of a combination of have those discussions. If there's any discomfort that your child is experiencing, let them create a safe space for them to express themselves, acknowledge how they're feeling if it ever comes up. And if it doesn't, just have those discussions, have those celebrations anyways, and let them explore different countries if possible. And even if it doesn't have to even be going to the country, it could be going to certain museums or going to London and visiting. I'm going to take the kids to go watch The Lion King. Like, I'm going to do things on purpose so that they can experience their own culture, and because at the end of the day, once we're not here, if they don't continue to embrace their culture, it will start to dissipate, and I want it to live on. So I hope that really helps. Again, share the love, like, subscribe and comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what tip you're going to implement now, and I will see you next week.